How many times do you question what you believe about yourself, or what you believe about your testimony, or maybe your relationships? Virginia Pearce, best-selling author of A Heart Like His, has written a wonderful new book titled Through His Eyes, Rethinking What You Believe About Yourself. Good morning, Virginia.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming in this morning. I love the title. Wouldn't it be better for all of us if we could see ourselves the way our Heavenly Father sees us?
It seems so simple, but it's so difficult.
It is, isn't it? I love the book. You have an interesting map that we're going to go to. It describes how your beliefs are formed. Can you tell us how they start?
Sure. I think that we're not aware of how quickly things cycle through us, and this is probably an oversimplified way to look at it, but what really happens, I think, is that we have data coming in, sensory data from everywhere. We hear things, we listen to things, we even feel things by the Spirit. It's just data coming in with no particular meaning. And then it comes into our thought or our belief box where we interpret it, where we decide, evaluate it, and where we see if it matches what we already believed and take it in. And then before we know it, it's gone into our emotions. We feel upset, or we feel sad, or we feel disappointed, and then our behavior reflects that. So it's just this ongoing cycle, but the part that we don't realize the power of, I think, is that belief box. Mm-hmm. We see stuff coming in, and then we feel. We have emotions and behavior, and so I think it's important to kind of look at what really is driving our emotions and our behavior.
And our beliefs. You say, I mean, we all have beliefs on a variety of different topics, but you say there are 3 different types of belief. I found these interesting. Tell us about those.
I think if you're rummaging around in your belief box, if you're like me, you find things that are true with a capital T. They are gospel truths. They're eternal, they don't change, and they're all the things that we would say. If I asked you what you believed, you would start probably saying many of the same things I would say. Then there are the things that are true with a small t. Things like you should always try to keep your weight down. People who are nice looking are a little bit more valuable. There are these funny little truths that kind of help us operate in the world, but they're not eternal truths. Mm-hmm. But they sometimes turn into great big ideas in our belief box in terms of driving emotions. And then there are things in there that simply are not true at all.
Do you think that's what we have most in our mind, or those that are not true at all? You say that our mind gets cluttered with those that are not true at all. We need to get rid of them.
I don't think that they are the majority of the beliefs most of us have in our mind, but I think they can get really powerful in terms of driving our emotions and our behavior.
And they can kind of take over those other thoughts.
Do you want me to give you an example?
Absolutely.
Say you go to Relief Society and you're one of the first ones there, and you go in and you sit down. And then as the other women start to come in, they all start to sit down, and the room starts to fill up, and nobody comes to sit on either side of you. So that's sensory data coming in. Nobody is sitting by me. So quickly, you either become, you feel fragile, you feel vulnerable, it's a difficult situation, and your behavior reflects that, and it can start a cycle where pretty soon I don't belong in Relief Society. That's a belief that goes in. Somebody else could have the same thing happen to them, and it's not anything. There are no negative emotions that go with it, or negative behaviors. So it all depends on what you've got in that little belief box. We all believe we're children of God and we're valuable and we're divine by birthright, but some of us have another belief that's operating at the same time. That's I'm unlovable. If people really knew me, they wouldn't love me. I'm less than. All those kinds of things, and those are the beliefs we're acting out of instead of the belief that I am a child of God.
Great ideas, the true with a capital T. We need to get more of those in our lives. Virginia Pearce, thank you again for another great book. Again, the title is Through His Eyes. We're going to give away 3 of these great books. Just go to our Facebook page at Mormon Times TV, like us, and tell us how you find truth in your life. We'll randomly select 3 winners. Up next, a centennial celebration for a famous Utah landmark, and you're invited to the party. But first, a look at a few of our missionaries currently serving around the world. If you'd like to share a picture of an elder, sister, or couple missionary with us, please send it to MormonTimes@ksl.com.